Jesus is a helper. Jesus is
Hello and welcome to this beautiful day. The sun is shining. There's some fluffy fair weather clouds in the sky, and I am so glad to be with you on this day. That this is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. We're working our way through our Vacation Bible School. It's virtual this year because we're filming and showing it on everyone's computers and phones. And I think that's very exciting because everyone can watch at any time wherever they are. Thank you for being with us. We have a busy day today, and I know you're going to have a great time watching all that we have for you. Especially, there's a segment on music and art and physical activity and cooking, and this is just going to be a fun-filled day for us to learn and to be together.
Hey, Sophia. How's it going?
Hey, Mark. It's doing great. You look like you're in a hurry. Where are you going?
I'm supposed to meet Allie in a few minutes. We're going into town to help serve food to some poor families.
Food? I love food. Sure, I'll go with you to lunch with you guys. You're paying, right?
No, Sophia, you got it all wrong. Allie and I are going to serve the food. We're not eating it.
Oh, well, then I don't know.
Hi, Mark. Hey, Mark. There you are. Oh, hi, Sophia. Are you ready to go, Mark?
Yep, I'm ready.
Guess what, Sophia? We're going to sacrifice some of our time and talents today to serve others in need. Do you want to go with us?
Mark was just telling me about it.
Awesome. And,
well, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Would you rather go see a movie or something?
Sacrifice isn't about having fun, but it certainly can be fun. I love to serve others.
Sacrifice means to honor God by offering yourself to Him. One way to honor God is to serve and help others in the name of Jesus. But it's not boring at all. I find joy in offering my time and energy for Jesus.
Yeah, just think of the word joy. J-O-Y. Joy, Jesus, others, you. When you put Jesus first, then others, and think about yourself last, you have real happiness, true joy.
I never thought about it that way.
So, Sophia, what do you think? What are you willing to give to God? Are you willing to show your love for Him by serving others?
Well, I guess I could help out. Actually, I really do want to serve. So, yes, I'm definitely in. You can count on me.
Sacrifice is a matter of the heart. It shouldn't be something you have to do, but something you're willing to do for God. It sounds like you have the right attitude, Sophia.
Today and every day, we should be living sacrifices for God.
What are we waiting for? Let's go.
Okay, let's go serve.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Debbie, Reverend Debbie, and folks that I know generally call me Rev Deb. I'm at St. Christopher's Episcopal Church, just right down the street from some of the other folks that you've been hearing from the Church of the Advent. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about God's faithfulness, how He stays with us no matter where we are, and how He created each one of us to be uniquely special, and how that makes for a wonderful day in our world and a wonderful day in our lives. You know, years ago, when my children were small, I have 3 daughters, I used to read this classic book to them, The Runaway Bunny. Maybe you all have read this book or know about it. Listen to the story. I'm only going to read just a part of it, and then I'm going to try and make a connection with a part of the Bible that you may not be familiar with. So this story begins like this. Once there was a little bunny who wanted to run away. So he said to his mother, "I'm running away." "If you run away," said his mother, "I will run after you, for you are my little bunny." "If you run after me," said the little bunny, "I will become a fish in a trout stream, and I will swim away from you." "If you become a fish in a trout stream," said his mother, "I will become a fisherman, and I will fish for you." There's a picture there of the bunny and the trout stream and the mother bunny. "If you become a fisherman," said the little bunny, "I will become a rock on the mountain high above you." "If you become a rock on the mountain high above me," said his mother, "I will be a mountain climber, and I will climb to wherever you are." "If you become a mountain climber," said the little bunny, "I will be a crocus, a flower hidden in the garden." "If you become a crocus hidden in a garden," said his mother, "I will be a gardener, and I will find you." And the book goes on, and the bunny becomes a fish, and the mom goes after him no matter where he goes. He becomes a bird. That story always reminded me, when I was reading it to my children, of something we know about God. The fact that God follows us no matter where we go. And we know this partly by what he says in the Bible, but also there's a specific place that I want to bring to your attention. There was a young boy, his name was David, and God's prophet Samuel was given the task of going to find the next king for God's people. And Samuel went out and he looked high and lo and behold, he found just the right person. And it was a young boy named David. David was a shepherd boy. And his whole life, David devoted to God. And he wrote, oftentimes, poems and songs that would show God his devotion to him. And this is one. It was in the form of a song called, and it's Psalm 139. Listen to a little bit of this and see if you can make the connection with the runaway bunny. "Lord, you have tested me, so you know all about me. You know when I sit down and when I get up. You know my thoughts from far away. You know where I go and where I lie down. You know everything I do. Lord, you know what I want to say even before the words leave my mouth. You are all around me, in front of me and behind me. I feel your hand on my shoulder. I am amazed at what you know. It's too much for me to understand. Your spirit is everywhere I go. I cannot escape your presence. If I go up to heaven, you will be there. If I go down to the place of death, you will be there. If I go east where the sun rises, or go and live in the west beyond the sea, even there you will take my hand and lead me. Your strong right hand will protect me. Suppose I wanted to hide from you and said, surely the darkness will hide me. The day will change to night and cover me. Even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day. You formed the way I think and feel. You put me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, God, because you made me in such a wonderful way. I know how amazing that was. So you see, David learned that no matter where he goes, God is with him, and that God knows his thoughts even before he thinks them. Now, I think that is a pretty cool thing, because whenever I'm in a place of feeling lonely or afraid, I know that God is with me too. And I am reassured that he made me special, and he made me wonderfully well. And he made you wonderfully well too. So whenever you think that you're wanting to run away, or you're thinking you're lost, you can be reassured that God is with you no matter where you go. And that makes for a great day in God's world and a great day in your life.
My name is Kris Neely. I'm the professor of art at Spartanburg Methodist College. You are enjoying a stay-at-home vacation Bible school, and as a member of St. Christopher's and a big-time fan of the Church of the Advent, I was asked to be a part of talking a little bit about my art in our neighborhood and where that art comes from. And I thought that it would be sort of fun to bring in some of the folks that have gotten to live with my art for a really long time. And so I have some special friends with you here. The first friend is my mom. Mama Claire, can you wave?
Hey.
And then sitting right behind her is my dad. We call him Papa Kirk. And then my son, Michael. Michael, can you wave? And my daughters, Allie and Caroline. And my wife, Patrice, is helping to record this. And she is doing behind the scenes work to make sure that you can see us all. And so she's put a family picture of us from several years ago when we got to go to the beach. And so you'll see that, and she might chime in if we get something wrong in a story and help us know how we need to tell it differently. But we are glad you're here. And what we're going to do is have a family conversation. We're having to do it through Zoom because we're social distancing. And so we're in different rooms of my house, and then we're calling in to my parents, MC and PK, at their house. And I don't know if you can tell by looking at their house, but Mama Claire has described their house, their decor, as a panopticon. There's something to look at on every single wall, and there are all kinds of wonderful handmade things. There are inspirational quotes everywhere you look, and one of the things that her house is full of are guardian angels. And when I tell the story about my guardian angels, I say that I painted my first guardian angel for my mom. And I have a picture of one here that I think my mom would like. It has like a teal blue and a soft pink background.
Yes.
And that little guardian angel is painted on driftwood from Pawleys Island. And when we would go on our beach vacation to Pawleys Island, a lot of times I would paint guardian angels. The way that I tell this story is that I painted my first one for my mom, and that guardian angel, she hung in the room, the bedroom, where my brother Eric used to stay. And Eric passed away when he was 27 years old, and it made that room a very sad place in our house. And because it made that room a sad place, my mom wanted to have something hopeful to put between the door frame and the light switch. And that's how I tell the story about how I got started painting guardian angels. But today we're going to tell you some of the other parts of that story that we don't always get to tell. And I wanted for MC and PK and my children to help tell those parts of the story. So Michael and Allie and Caroline, if you all have a question, I want you to feel comfortable asking. And MC and PK, help me tell the story about how this really got started. The first thing I want to say is that when I was a very little boy, I really liked to draw. And I liked to make a lot of art. And I remember sitting at the counter in my parents' house, and I got construction paper. It was right before my birthday. I'm the Thanksgiving baby. There's a good story about that, about Papa Kirk preaching and in his church in Winston-Salem. And he got a message on the pulpit that said that I was on the way. And so Mama Claire needed him to come meet at the hospital. So the night of the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, I was born, but my birthday was always very, very close to Thanksgiving. Sometimes it was right up next to it, and sometimes it was just a week away from it, but it was a November birthday. It never could be on Thanksgiving, but it always was very close to Thanksgiving. And when I was about Allie and Caroline's age, I had lots and lots and lots of cousins, like more than 40 cousins, that would all get together for Thanksgiving. I don't think we could ever possibly hope to social distance if we were still having big parties like that at my grandparents' house. But I wanted to make a birthday card for all of my cousins. Kind of a different way to do it. I wanted to give them all a piece of my art. And I did that turkey drawing where you put your hand on the piece of paper and then you draw around each finger. And then this became the head, and these were the feathers. And I didn't just make one of those, I made like almost 50 of them on construction paper cards. MC, do you remember that?
I do remember that. You were very diligent. Once you set yourself a task, you followed through, and you still do that.
And did you think then I have an artist or I have a child who has some kind of disorder?
Never thought.
I thought we had a turkey.
Oh. Oh my goodness! I think, Kris, that we have that card on the door to the kitchen right now.
I think that's probably true. You don't need to go get it. But when I think about my art and how I started doing my art, I think about that story of making lots and lots and lots of individual pieces. And with these guardian angels, I have a stack right now of ones that I've been making. These are all little magnets, and each magnet is different. They're all unique, but I sell these in Spartanburg through a store called Vintage Warehouse, and Mama Patrice, my wife, helps to list these on the website. And when I was making these angels, I was thinking about my mom, and I was thinking about the 23rd Psalm that my grandmother helped me to memorize, Papa Kirk's mom. And I was thinking about the 23rd Psalm where it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leads me beside the still waters, and he makes me lie down in green pastures." Papa Kirk, you know that psalm?
Yes, I do know it.
On some of these, I also was thinking about another psalm, and this one has a picture of mountains, Papa Kirk. Which psalm do you think I was thinking about with that?
121. I lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
That's right. And Papa Kirk is really, really good at being able to remember the verses of those psalms. Papa Kirk, how does Psalm 121 end?
I have to say to remember it. I lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
I'm going to give you a hint.
He is thy keeper on thy right hand.
He that keepeth Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Is
the
that
sun
the
shall
same
not smite thee
by day, or the moon by night?
Or the moon by night.
And it ends by saying, "The Lord will watch over your coming out and going in
from this
time forth,
even forevermore."
And so when I started painting these, I was thinking about lifting up my eyes to the hills and Camp Canoga and Camp Bob Harden and all of the wonderful mountain places that we love to go. I was thinking about the ocean and the South Carolina coast where I love to go and paint when I did the still waters or by lakes and rivers and streams. But as I continued to think about those early verses, I thought about going out and coming in, and I made these little guardian angel keychains for people who are going out and coming in, and to be reminded that God is watching over them. So when I am painting, I'm often praying and thinking about scriptures that I learned as a child. And one of the great ways to learn scripture is to study the Bible like we studied it in Vacation Bible School and in Sunday school. And so I wanted to be a part of helping our children in my neighborhood to remember that those things can be really good things that can help you even when you're an adult, if you've learned those comforting scriptures. And I wanted to thank you, MCMPK, for helping me to learn those scriptures.
You're quite welcome.
You're welcome, Kris.
Now, I was in high school. I painted this painting, and the stairs here look like the stairs of Old Main at Wofford College, but they're green. And I remember that I had seen that staircase. I later went on to study at Wofford College, but I can't even remember why I was there, probably just to see my brother, who was in college at Wofford. But that staircase was a very interesting staircase to me. And I called this Jacob's Ladder, and it has angels that are going up here. My brother Eric, before he died, saw this painting, and he said they look like little sausage people. Several years later, you encouraged me to continue painting those angels, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
I tell people that I learned to obey my mama when I painted these guardian angels because I was a little bit embarrassed about them. I wasn't sure why people liked them so much, and I wasn't sure they were my best kind of art. But Allie and Caroline, do y'all have a question? Okay, can you turn on your microphone?
Yep, we are.
Okay.
Yes.
What's your question, Caroline?
It's not a question. I want to tell you something.
Okay, tell us.
That I've been starting painting hearts with wings on it.
You have, Caroline, and I love those paintings. And when I was picking up paintings to show of my work, I saw some of Allie's work and some of Caroline's work and some of Michael's work. We have a painting that Michael did one of the first times he came to stay with us and went to my art studio. And he was only 6 years old when he painted it. And it has little guardian angels on it. And so these angels have been a part of how we paint, and hearts and angels. Michael's been doing a 3D doodle with a guardian angel on it, which is kind of a cool thing with melting
I would like
glass.
to see some of those things. I haven't seen the heart or the 3D doodle.
We'll have to show you, MC.
You
I don't
too.
think we've got them at the ready yet, but we'll show you for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Now, MC and PK, behind Caroline and Allie, y'all want to do your disappearing trick, Caroline and Allie? 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, go away.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Behind their background, there are some guardian angels. That's a picture that my sister Betsy took of hundreds of guardian angels that I had painted at the beach. Okay, Allie and Caroline, come on back.
How did
Come back,
you do
Dad.
that?
And Michael has one hanging on the wall behind him.
Yeah.
Michael, what do you remember about guardian angels?
So this particular guardian angel is one that you gave me at Spring Fling.
You came to visit me at Spring Fling and I was selling angels in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And you really wanted one of your own, right?
Yeah.
When I paint a lot, sometimes I'll paint the backgrounds and then I'll paint the body color, that blue color, and then I'll wait to paint the white, the halo, the head, the wings, and the heart. I'll paint all those kind of all together when I have my white paint out after the bodies have dried. And I was painting lots and lots of angels to get ready for Christmas. Lots of people give guardian angels of mine for Christmas. And I was painting those, and I had all kinds of that little teardrop shape with the background that had filled up my garage. And Michael had been very interested and was watching those, but none of them had ever turned into guardian angels. And then one day I stayed up too late. Allie, have you ever known me to stay up too late?
Yep.
I stayed up too late and I worked really hard to put the white parts of the angels on there. And when Michael went out to the garage before school, he said, "Dad, you've got to see this." And Michael believed that an angel or an elf or some special magical creature had come into our garage and had suddenly turned all those little teardrops and pieces of wood into guardian angels. And I thought it was so funny that he thought that he didn't realize that the bleary-eyed man he was showing it to was the guy who had painted all of those. And that was such a wonderful story about the magical thinking and the imagination of a young man who thought there's no way that my crazy dad did all that. But yep, it was me. And when I told him that, Michael was a little bit worried because he wasn't quite so sure why I had behaved that way all night long. He didn't quite get it. And I'm not sure anybody should get it. But Michael grabbed my hand. Michael, do you remember what you said? You said, "Dad, it's going to be okay." And some people paint kittens too.
That's a very
He
good.
was trying to help me think about maybe I could diversify a little bit so that I didn't have to quite be so obsessive with painting the guardian angels. I'm sure Mama Claire thought when she saw those turkeys all over the counter when I was a little boy, it's okay, Kris. Some people draw kittens. You don't have to be turkey for the rest of your life. These are messengers that are sent from God to protect us from our very first day on earth and to our very last. And they don't replace God, but they are messengers from God. Papa Kirk, how do you think about guardian angels?
Well, I can be a little bit didactic here. The Greek word that we get angel from is angelos, and it actually means messenger. So an angel is a messenger. You're right.
A messenger sent from God.
Yes.
To comfort and care for us. And so one of the ways that we can be a good neighbor is to be an angel for other people. That we could still be a messenger from God, even if we don't have wings. The most important part of any of my guardian angels might be that little heart. Because sometimes I don't have a halo. A lot of times I don't have a halo. And a lot of times I don't feel like I've got wings. But that little heart is a way that I can show love to other people. And I started painting that there, actually thinking a little bit about my grandmother. Daughter Caroline told a really funny joke. She said, "Daddy, your angels just crack out everywhere." It was another Christmas time, and Caroline said, "Your angels just crack out everywhere." And I said, "What do you mean they're cracking out everywhere?" And little young Caroline said, "Their heads are eggs."
Mm.
And she's right. I'd never thought about it, but their heads do look like eggs. They're little oval shapes. And to young Caroline, she saw those little eggs, and they were cracking out everywhere. And so these stories have been a part of this whole process. As an artist, my family helps me think differently about this. And so I started thinking, where did this story come from? Why did I start drawing in that style, and why is it comforting for me to draw in that style? And I remembered a time, Mama Claire and Papa Kirk, when we were in a house of a friend in Winston-Salem, and I was hurting very badly. Someone had done something very wrong to me, and they had done something they weren't supposed to do and didn't have permission to do, and it was not okay. And my big brother, Eric, brought me to you, and he helped me to tell the story about how someone had hurt me. And I remember how brave Eric was and how his protective hand, he was much bigger than me at the time. I was just a young boy. But Eric helped me to tell my story. Eric was good at helping to tell the truth. He was a newspaper reporter, and he loved to help people tell the story of the truth and to find the truth. And Eric helped me to tell my story to you. It was a hard story to tell. And you comforted me with the Bible. Even when we have a deep hurt or something that makes us very sad, even when things we see on the news or things around us are just not good and not the way good neighbors should act, the idea that we could take that hurt and still help other people and be a good neighbor is something that I had to learn at a very early age. Even when it made me very mad, bad things that people do to us can still hurt for a very long time. And sometimes I think about that when I paint these guardian angels, that I want them to go and comfort people who are hurting. And I am very grateful, Mama, that you and Dad encouraged me to find this way through my art to do that for other people. And now there are tens of thousands of these guardian angels that have gone all around, and most of them have been given away to other people who needed to be comforted or to be reminded to be hopeful when things just were not going well.
Hi everyone, today we are filming our virtual PE session from one of my favorite spots. It is in Converse Heights, and it is where our goats are. And it's a rainy day, so our goats are kind of hiding in their little tented area. There's one that came out to say hello to us, but we love having this right in the neighborhood because it's someplace I like to go if I'm feeling stressed or anxious or worrying about something. And today that's what we're going to focus on, worrying, what to do. If I'm feeling worried or anxious about something that's going on in my life, not only do I like to come and visit these goats to get my mind off things, but there are a couple other techniques that I use to help calm myself down. One thing that I like to do is just to stop what I'm doing and take deep breaths. So I breathe in through my nose, I hold it for a couple of seconds, and then I exhale. And that's a good way to calm yourself down, just to kind of relax, to chill out. Another thing that I like to do is some yoga moves, and that's what we're going to do today. We are going to take a little tour of Spartanburg through some yoga poses. The first thing we are going to do, we are going to pretend that we have just driven in our cars to the Advent, and we are going to do a yoga pose that represents the church. And Emerson is going to help me with these poses as well. And as we're doing these poses, I want you to remember to breathe. Remember, in through your nose, hold it for a couple seconds, and then out through your mouth. So let's make our bodies look like the church. So let's start by getting down on our knees. We're going to put our hands also down, and then we're gonna lift our bodies up to make a point. That is one of the pointed roofs at the Advent. And we're gonna hold this pose for a few seconds, concentrate on our breathing, and then we can get back out of the pose. And now we're going to pretend that we are walking out of the Advent, and we see the biggest building at downtown Spartanburg. And we are going to pretend we are the Denny's building. So we're going to reach our arms up, get up on our toes, and reach up and stretch as high as we can go. And remember to breathe. And then you can get out of that pose. Oh, my favorite. All over Spartanburg, I'm sure you've seen these. There are these cute, I love them, sculptures of light bulbs. So we are going to pretend that after leaving the Denny's building, we're walking downtown to some of our other favorite spots, and we see one of our light bulbs. So we're going to get into a position where we're pretending we're sitting into a chair, and then we're going to make the light bulb with our arms. And then you can get out of that position. In the wintertime, it is so much fun to go downtown and do some ice skating. So let's pretend that we are going down to skating on the square. And at first, we are going to pretend that we are the ice rink. So we have to make ourselves completely flat and smooth so that people can skate on us. So we're going to get down into our plank position and make our bodies as flat as possible. And then we can get out of that position. And now we are going to be an ice skater on top of that ice. How should we be an ice skater, Emerson? Oh, I love it. So we are going to stand on one foot, and we are going to slowly put our other leg back and balance, and our arms out to our sides. Woo! And if you're wobbly, that's okay. Maybe you should try the other leg. Sometimes you are stronger on one leg versus the other. Okay, after we go skating, we're going to one of my other favorite spots. We need a good book to read. It's a rainy day, so when we go home, we want to read a book. So we're going to the Hub City bookstore, and we're going to pick out our favorite book. So we're going to be an open book. So your legs should be straight out, and you're going to put your arms up in the air and lean back. And then you're going to close the book. People are driving by thinking that I'm just bonkers for being out in the rain doing our yoga lessons. But that's okay. And then we're going to open our book back up. I feel Emerson's toes behind me. And then we're going to close our book back up. After we come out of the Hub City bookstore, we see another piece of art, and these are all over downtown too. You may have seen these bicycle sculptures. So we are going to pretend we're riding a bicycle. And you can pedal around to the other side. Still breathing. And you can feel it in your stomach muscles. One more time with the other side. And go ahead and get out of that pose. Oh, after that, we are going to head to the Chapman Cultural Center, and we are going to take a class at Ballet Spartanburg. So with Ballet Spartanburg, we can do this pose, Emerson. We will do the tree pose, but we'll put our hands over our heads so we look like a ballerina. And try to hold that. And while we're at the Chapman Cultural Center, you know what else is there that we love visiting? We love going to the Science Center. So we are going to go back down on your hands and your knees. And we're going to put our legs behind us, lay on our stomachs, and push up. We're going to pretend that we are a bearded dragon. And my favorite bearded dragon there, I believe his name is Sheldon. And then we're going to check out the tortoises. So we're going to get in our shells. Okay, just a couple more. Oh, after all of that exploring at the Chapman Cultural Center, we are hungry. So let's go to Venus Pie, Venus Pizza, and get a humongous slice of pizza. So now we are going to, yes, we're going to make our bodies look like a big slice of pizza. A big triangle. And it'll be hanging off the plate. Their slices are huge. After that, we need to get in our car to go to our final two spots. We can't walk there from where we are. So we get in our car and we are heading to Glendale Shoals. And at Glendale Shoals, there's a big bridge. So we're going to make a bridge with our body. And then after that, our final spot that I have for you, we're going to go to Hatcher Gardens. And at Hatcher Gardens, there are all sorts of trees and flowers and also butterflies. I always see butterflies flying around there. So we'll put our feet together and we'll just kind of stretch out our legs and flutter our legs like a butterfly. I already feel more relaxed being here. Even this rain isn't bothering me. It's kind of calming. I'm not as stressed or worried any longer. I want you to think of one of your favorite spots in Spartanburg that we didn't mention and try to come up with a yoga pose that represents that spot. Emerson, do you have any spots that you love in Spartanburg?
Well, I have the Humane Society.
Ooh, Emerson said the Spartanburg Humane Society. And interestingly, the Humane Society put on a yoga class last fall. It was puppy yoga, where you could do yoga with puppies. And I have seen all around you can do yoga with all sorts of different animals. You can do yoga with goats. And I'm not the first person to come out here and do yoga with these goats. You can do yoga with cats. But we went to a yoga class that was put on by the Spartanburg Humane Society where there were puppies. And guess who came home with a puppy? We did. Yes, we did. So no wonder that's one of your favorite places. Emerson, what would be a yoga pose that would go along with the Humane Society? Ooh.
This as a dog.
that as a dog, or that. Yep, that's a dog. And that yoga pose, which we use to describe the Advent, that's actually called the downward dog pose. So that definitely goes along with the Humane Society.
And this is called walking the dog.
And that's called walking the dog? Great. Okay, so come up with your own pose representing your favorite place. Just a reminder, you should still be working on, if I can find it around here, I probably hid it so it wouldn't get wet, your world records or your personal records. I have been working on my plank and I was able to get 1 minute in this plank today. So tomorrow I'm going to try to beat that record. And also hula hooping. I'm trying. I got the hula hoop up for 2 seconds. So tomorrow I'm going to try to keep that hoop up for longer than 2 seconds. So please continue working on your records and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Hi everybody, my name's Lindsey and today I'm going to tell you what I do in the community. I am an opera singer. I know, crazy, right? Now, if you've never been to an opera, it's kind of like a play where you go to a big fancy theater and you sit in chairs and you watch people in beautiful costumes and beautiful makeup and beautiful wigs tell an amazing story. Except opera, you sing the entire time. You don't talk, ever. You sing the whole time, and it's pretty amazing. So today, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what I do, because I don't just sing opera, I just sing. So an opera singer is a type of musician too, right? Which means I need an instrument. So let me just go get mine. Oh wait, I didn't bring an instrument. I'm a singer who's a musician. So what's my instrument? Oh yeah, I take my instrument everywhere I go. And sometimes I forget that I have it. It's my voice. And you have the exact same instrument too. And the great thing about our instrument is that we get to carry it with us every single day. And no one else sounds exactly like us in the entire world. No one else sounds like I do, and no one else sounds like you do. So it's pretty cool. So now I want to show you guys what I sing as an opera singer. Because when you sing, you don't just have to sing opera. You can sing pop music, you can sing rock music, you can sing country, you can sing Baby Shark, you can sing whatever. You can sing in the shower. Voices are very versatile instruments, and you can do anything you want with them. But I like opera, and I want to show you guys a little bit about what I do, okay? So this is what opera sounds like. Cool, huh? And it's pretty loud. It hurts my ears sometimes, but that's okay. I still love it. And like I mentioned earlier, our voices can basically do anything that we want. We use our voices every day. So did you know you've been using an instrument every day since you were born? Wow, crazy to think about, huh? And it is an instrument, just like anything else. You have to practice it. Just like when you were a baby, you had to learn how to talk. You had to learn how to scream. You had to learn how to use the instrument that's inside you. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to keep your instrument nice and healthy. Okay? So number 1, drink plenty of water, because your throat is attached to your voice. Crazy, huh? And if your throat gets dry, you can't sing well. You can't speak well. So drink plenty of water. Number 2, get plenty of sleep, because while it is very convenient to have your voice with you all the time, I don't have to buy it, a case. I don't have to send it off to get cleaned when it gets dull. Everything that I do affects my voice. So if I eat the wrong foods, if I don't sleep enough, then I'm tired. My voice gets tired. If I go to a rock concert one night and I'm screaming, woohoo! My voice gets tired. It can get hoarse. So everything that you put in your body, everything that you do to your body affects your voice. Even if it's just a little bit, it affects it. So drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest. Make sure you always go outside and play and exercise because it's good for your voice. It's good for your whole body. And whatever is good for your body is good for your voice because it's inside your body. Now, while opera is super cool, and in my personal opinion, the coolest job there is out there, you may not think so, and that's okay. So I thought that we would do a fun song to let you guys see everything that the voice can do. You with me? Okay, here we go. I never knew how much I liked tiny things till I saw a ladybug sitting on a jelly bean. And yesterday a little baby winked at me. She had this tiny spoon, she was eating tiny peas. A million tiny raindrops make the river high. So tiny things are mighty things, I guess that's why I like tiny things. Tiny things, I like tiny things. Tiny things.
Well, I promised you this was going to be a fun-filled day, and it sure was. I'm so glad that I was here to be a part of it, and I know you're going to remember this for a long time to come, and I hope you remember the lessons that you learned about God and who He is, and about how every day with God is a great day in God's world.
Jesus is a helper. Jesus is a helper. Jesus is a helper to the world. Jesus is a neighbor. Jesus is a neighbor. Jesus is a neighbor to the world. Jesus is my Savior. Jesus is my Savior. Jesus is my Savior, is a Savior to